Christmas, it's the best time of the year.
It was Christmas Eve and Cinderella was lonely. Cinderella's stepmother and her two daughters, Gisella and Anastasia, had driven off to spend the holiday in the country with their wealthy cousins. Cinderella had not been invited. She was left at home to sweep and scrub and feed the animals. As Cinderella sat by the extinguished fire, thoughts of past Christmases flooded over her, how she and her father had loved decorating their home and wrapping gifts for the many friends who came to visit. A tear rolled down her cheek. Gus and Jacques skittered to her side. Her mouse friend seemed to sense when she was in need. "Cinderella sad?" asked Jacques. Cinderella put her head in her hands. "It's just that it's Christmas Eve," she said. "Christmas Eve?" Cinderella chittered Gus. "Doesn't look like Christmas Eve." "Where's the holly?" asked Jacques. "Where's the tree? What kind of Christmas can this be?" Cinderella explained that her stepmother and stepsisters had decided that since they were going away, Christmas would make too much of a mess. "I love Christmas mess," sighed Cinderella, "and the busyness. That's all part of the fun." "Not too late," said Gus. "Let us get busy, Cinderella." Cinderella, with a large bowl of milk, lured Lucifer the cat into a small room upstairs and locked the door. Then Gus and Jacques called the other mice and birds into action. From the nearby forest they brought pine boughs, holly branches, mistletoe, which they wove into lush garlands. Meanwhile, Cinderella found and cut a small but well-shaped tree, which her dog Bruno hauled home on a sled. She and her friends hung red apples and colorful strings of berries on the boughs. Finally, she trimmed the branches with household candles. When the tree was lit, Cinderella and her friends stood back to admire it. She shivered with delight. "A Christmas tree is a sign of hope," she said. "I feel more hopeful already." "Me hopeful too," said Gus. "We gonna eat good Christmas dinner." "Oh dear," sighed Cinderella. "With all the bustle I forgot. You all must be hungry." She scanned the cupboards, which were almost bare. With a lock on the cellar store of hams, cheeses, and preserves, there was little to be had except an oat cake and a pot of yesterday's pea soup. Cinderella put the poor dinner on the table. "I'm sorry I can't offer a feast," she said. "Whole oat cake?" said Gus. "That's feast. Better than crumbs." "Yes." "A feast, not just food," Jock told her, "but friends. Agree, Cinderella?" And soon, amid much gaiety, the last crumb disappeared. After dinner, Cinderella picked more apples from the garden tree and made a deep dish pie. As spicy aroma drifted through the rooms, it did seem like Christmas after all. Never mind the past or the future. She was warm and fed and among caring friends. "Thank you for sharing my Christmas," she said. Waity, Cinderella," said Jacques with a wide grin. "Got an open gifty," said Gus from behind his back. He drew a small package wrapped in crumpled paper. Cinderella opened it. How beautiful! From some of Gisella's cast-off ribbons, the mice had woven a tiara which sparkled with tiny beads. When she put it on, the mice exclaimed, "A princess, a princess!" "You're our princess," said Jacques. Cinderella looked down at her adoring friends. "You have been so good to me," she said. "I wish I had a gift for you." "You save us from Lucifer," said Gus. "That big gifty." At that moment, they heard a yowl from upstairs. Lucifer! Up to this moment, Cinderella had forgotten him. It didn't seem fair to make the cat sit alone in a cold room while others celebrated Christmas. "Would you mind if I brought him to join us?" "Lucifer?" The mice scampered. Jacques shuddered. "Will be a feasty for that beastie." "Couldn't you all declare a truce?" asked Cinderella. "At least for Christmas Eve." Gus hesitated, then sighed. "If he will, he will." Cinderella dashed upstairs. "I'm sorry, Lucifer. I'd let you join the party, but we're all afraid you'd like mouse for Christmas dinner." Lucifer shook his head hard. Then he patted his belly and pointed to an empty milk bowl. "Promise?" Lucifer nodded. And so it came to pass that on that day, that by tradition, the lion lies down with the lamb. Lucifer snoozed contentedly by the fire while Cinderella and her mouse friends spent a peaceful evening sharing their apple pie.